Hey everyone, this is Srimaya. I'm your mindfulness coach, and today I'll be talking about negative emotions and feelings. Often it happens that we get into some kind of negative thoughts and it goes around in loops inside our mind. So today I'll be sharing an if and then analysis of negative mindset. So I'll be giving you the ifs. So if you're doing this, that and that, and if you're going through those things, then obviously there are few things that you need to take care of, and probably the negative things that you think are very normal and they keep happening, though it is normal, I agree with that, but you need to understand that what you think normal may not be, maybe there is a deeper problem to that. So we need to look into the real psychology behind the negative thoughts, the genesis, where is it starting from. So let's deep dive and take a look at the if then analysis of the negative thoughts. All right, so please pay attention, start taking notes if possible, and if you have to play this video, then play it often, because this is going to be a breakthrough video for you. All right, so let me talk about the ifs. Okay, if whatever it is that you're doing, you keep thinking about the result first. Whatever it is that you're doing, you only think of the result. If whatever it is that you're doing, you keep thinking about what will people say if you fail. If you keep thinking that what if it does not work out as expected, what if the expected results I'm not going to get. It can be business, it can be a new job change, it can be relationship, it can be, buying a product, a house, anything. What if it doesn't work out? And what will people say? If you've been thinking about that, if you are getting a feeling most of the time that someone is watching you all the time, it happens that sometimes we get the feeling that somebody is watching us over the shoulder, while walking on the street, while sometimes staying in the house also, while driving the car, somewhere someone is like, watching us over the shoulder. Do you get that feeling? Right? So if you're getting that feeling, then what? So I'm going to talk about the then. So next, if you're getting the feeling that someone or they must be talking about behind your back, so you're always worried what they must be talking about in your office, in your house, among your relatives, among your friends, you're constantly wondering what they're thinking about, right? So this is number 5. Number 5 is if the past events, chats, calls, betrayals, hurt, revenge, and rage are running over and over again your mind. So your past events, some kind of negative emotion, some kind of negative distrust or betrayal is just running over and over in your house, in your head. Then what? I'll talk about that. If you often think a lot about doing something awesome, but you end up not doing it. So you keep thinking that I will do something, I will plan out something, but end of the day, you don't commit to it. Like you don't actually achieve it. And if that has been kind of a pattern for you for too long, you've been planning things, but you're not doing it. Right? If you often get fatigues, or feel burnt out or stressed out, so suddenly, you feel that you're burnt out and you're stressed out. Suddenly you feel like not working anymore. You just like keep telling yourself that, okay, I'm done, I'm too much, I'm doing too much, I need to take rest. If that kind of sudden fatigue is coming a lot to you, a kind of feeling burnt out is coming a lot to you. All right. And if you often feel paralyzed with analysis, so you're overthinking things, right? You're doing a lot of overthinking on what you have to do. So if these are the things which has been going on with you, these are the negative emotions, then what? Then you have to understand these 7 key points. Okay, and this can be deeper, the problem can be deeper than what you think. Number 1 is that, and as I unfold them, the solution. If you're smart enough, you know what to do. Okay, so you're not letting your past go. All right. You have to let go of your past. You cannot climb the mountain with, rocks tied up to your leg. You cannot swim across the ocean, the tough waves in your life, if you have stones of your past tied up to your chain to your feet. That is what the negative feeling of the past does. So you have to let go, and once you let go, your life is good. So LG, if you let go, life is good. Remember that. You're definitely unclear about your purpose and vision in your life. Unless and until you have a strong purpose and vision in your life, you will keep spending time on low priority things, distractions, negative news, negative people. Small events will keep bothering you. Why does that happen? Because you have nothing to fall back to. You don't have a purpose, you don't have a vision. You don't wake up every day in the morning to think about your purpose and vision. If you don't have that, you have nothing to fall back to. Your day will run you instead of you running the day. So that's a very, very, very crucial point, and that's what I talk about in my courses, Mindfulness Leadership System. And I'll be talking about, a link which you can click and join my club. You do not have positive morning and night rituals. It's absolutely imperative that you should have morning and night rituals. If you are immediately after waking up, if you're immediately checking the notifications of your cell phone, and before sleeping, if you're watching all the, all these negative videos, all these things. See, negative emotions are always very, very attractive. It's easier to think negative than positive. So if you're doing all this, if you're just after waking up, you're using your cell phone, just before sleeping, you're using your cell phone, then obviously you don't have a strong morning and night ritual, and those things are running you. Because and I can go deeper and deeper into that. In fact, I have a lot of videos talking about how the brain works in the morning hours. Your brain is susceptible to creativity, to imagination, to visualization, to positivity. If you corrupt your brain feeding the notifications of your cell phone, some kind of negative message from your WhatsApp, some kind of negative message from in your Facebook, some kind of exciting negative video, some kind of negative thing, if you keep feeding it, then you're not going to go long. Again, your day will run you instead of you running the day. All these ifs will keep happening. It will make you scared for your life, and always you will be more worried than what you should be. Number 4, you're most likely a victim of imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? You're desperately trying to become someone instead of becoming you yourself. Instead of being original, being honest, being authentic, and instead of being clear about what you want, you're looking too much around the world. Maybe Sharma ji ka beta, maybe your neighbor, maybe another colleague, maybe another business partner. You're just looking at them and you're thinking that I want to become like that. I want to become like that person. It does not work. You have to find out who you are. Each one of us have our own time, space and soul dimensions. How you work, think, act, do things will never be equal to another person sitting just beside you. So you have to focus on yourself. You're trying to imposter someone else, and that is known as imposter syndrome. And when you don't become that, when you don't get those results, just as you saw with your colleague, with Sharma ji ka beta or someone like that, you feel disrespected. You feel you get into depression. You start doubting yourself, and a lot of you start deceiving yourself. Self doubt and self deception, all the negative things start. All right. So please avoid imposter syndrome. Understand who you are. And that's another big part of leadership, which I covered in my courses. Number 5 is you are unrealistic about your expectations, right? Your stakeholders, your parents, everybody in the office, in personal life, everybody has so high expectations from us. And when we see, imposter syndrome, when we see other people achieving, big things in their life, we think that we need to get there, and we also keep our expectation very, very high than what we are supposed to get, what we actually deserve. That's why I say, know yourself first, know your, weaknesses and strength before just, having an expectation. I see a lot of problem in all the age groups. When a student passes out, with high flying, percentage, he or she expects that he will get into a fantastic college, and when he doesn't get it, what happens? What happens? The news of all of that. When a businessman tries hard and hard and hard, and out of and even after a lot of earning, he gets some kind of problem in his business, and suddenly something goes away, some kind of wealth goes away, some kind of reputation goes away. What happens to that business person? The news, you know the past events. I don't have to tell you. If you're smart enough, you know what I'm talking about, what I'm hinting at. We have too much of expectation from others and too much of expectation from us, unrealistic ones. You have to understand who you are, and accordingly you need to keep your expectation. Right. Next is that you need to take care that you're focusing more on results rather than relationship. Right. This is an age old theory, but again, I know easier said than done. As I said, it's a game of expectation, and when expectation breaks, heart breaks, the stress increases, and stress is the number one cause of all the problems. So it all starts with expectation. Right. But what we are trying to say here is that you're focusing so much more on the results rather than your methods, rather than improving what you can do, rather than, thinking of new steps to achieve better results. You're just focusing on results. See, actions produce results, but what creates those actions? Your feelings create those actions. So if you think that if the result is not good, so I need to blame my actions without looking at what are the feelings which created those actions, then you're not going to go far. You will always keep blaming the actions. So you're focusing too much on results and actions rather than focusing on your feelings. How do you feel when you do that job? How do you feel when you actually truly follow your passion? Are you going to feel good about it? If yes, then go ahead, do it. How do you feel when you say thank you to someone? How do you feel when you say sorry to someone? If it is fixing your relationship, go ahead and do that. So instead of achieving everything on your own because you cannot manage your feelings and therefore you're focusing only on results which you don't get, try to build a relationship with people who can help you be there. We are built to be social animals. We are built to stay in community. So we need to understand that there's no point of fighting that. You can be as soulless as possible. Someone, this is a very famous saying. You can be soulless. You can be alone, but don't be lonely. There's a huge difference. Right? So socialize, meet with people, and trust me, your results will come. Don't just focus on the results. This has been inscribed in our ancient books as well. Right? Karma karo, phal ki asha mat karo. Right? Number 7, you're focusing more on amount rather than value. This is where people are so driven into materialistic things. And again, so many people I have seen, including me, I was also there, thinking about that promotion, thinking about that next house, thinking about all those the next car, the next this, the next that. We are so materialistic rather than looking at the value of those materials. If I am buying something just to impress someone, not to improve myself, then it is not going to serve the purpose. The return on investment, ROI, is going to be destructive and not constructive. And if I eventually keep trying to impress people, trying to be someone, then eventually my life will be destructed. And that's exactly what happens. Why do you think people are so stressed out, even if they have a fat bank account? Because of this, they've been chasing the materials after materials after materials after materials without understanding the value of the material. Let me give you an example. You spend 10 rupees, you see a beggar in somewhere, you take 10 rupees out, you give it to him. What is that? That is the amount. How do you create value of that 10 rupees? You see that same beggar, you take your, you park your car aside, you take him, you talk with him, you take him to the nearest vada pav shop or whatever shop, and you feed him of 10 rupees. You have just created value for that 10 rupees. The amount is still 10 rupees, but the value you provided is much, much higher. What are you focusing on? If you're focusing on the amount of the things, the price tag, then you have forgotten what is the value that you can create. Focus on value, not on amount. It's not the, remember this, it's not the wealth that creates your legacy. It's the wisdom which creates the legacy. If you're working too hard, just keeping in mind, just like the 96% of the society, that I need to leave something important for my kids, right? Two, three houses, 4 or 5, SIPs, 6 or 7 FDs. I don't know, that is wealth. You think that is going to help your kids? Or the wisdom is going to help your kids? What if you have left all the money in the world for your kids, but they don't know how to use it? What is your legacy? Don't go mad creating wealth. Go mad creating wisdom. That is your legacy. Amount versus value. This was the if and then analysis of your negative feelings. Please watch this video, rewind this video if you have to, take notes and work on them. Trust me, when I started working on them, everything changed in my life. And if you are going to be a fantastic leader, you're looking forward to it, then I would like to invite you to join my live webinar. I will leave a link somewhere here. It is Mindfulness Leadership System. I want you to become a fantastic, outstanding leader by having control, having mastery over yourself, over your mind. Mind mastery leads to self-mastery. Self-mastery leads to leadership mastery. Go ahead, click the link if you are an experienced professional and want to be an outstanding leader. This was Srimaya, and hope this video is going to help you for many, many days to go ahead in your life. Thank you so much.